everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So we are now working on the tail feathers. Yay! My favorite part of the pattern. And as I said, not stitching diagonally anymore, following the colors, so I'm going to be working one of these like eye sort of motifs on the tail today. So I've been sort of working from the bottom up. We'll be working a bit from sort of the top down, just working from these edges and filling in what is between them. So I've got a lot of threads because there are a lot of colors in this area. Let's pop those down there a bit. So there'll be a bit of rearranging and stuff to keep things on track. All right. Ooh, goodness. I actually slept okay the last couple nights. I actually woke up before my alarm and not hours before my alarm. Yeah, it was a weird feeling to wake up naturally and go, oh, there's like 20 minutes left, so I might as well not try to sleep anymore. If I did manage to fall back asleep, that would just make me feel very groggy. And that's no fun. So. Goodness. Starting off with a knot. Oh gosh. There we are. Yeah, so we had a really nice warm day yesterday, and then we're back to the rain again. Yeah, my husband finally went and put some grass seed in. We have this bare spot in our yard, and some neighbor's cat keeps using it as its litter box, and so nothing grows there. So yeah, my husband's finally fed up, and yeah, and he put a cage around it so the cat can't get in. Yeah. His theory was that it could never recover because of it kept going there. So we'll see if it actually grows anything or if it's just naturally a bare spot for some reason. Yeah, it was wild. My son went with the we have this tool that you use that pulls dandelions out by their roots, and he spent like a couple of hours doing it, and there's still, yeah, we had a good rain and the dandelions came up again everywhere. It's like, holy cow. You would think he hadn't done any, and I know he had because I saw the pile of dandelions in the compost. So yeah, because our city has us divide the garbage, and they take the compost one, actually they take it to a facility somewhere where they turn it into energy from the fermentation and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, which is good because for a long time you weren't allowed to put grass clippings in the garbage, and it's like, okay, but where are you supposed to put them, right? So yeah, now you can. So a little bit of a carry, but it's still within an inch, so that's why I'm just tacking it down there with a pin stitch so that it doesn't get pulled loose while I stitch over it. And I find, yeah, because it's over an area that hasn't been stitched yet, it will get secured by my stitching over it. In fact, a lot of people do waste threads like that to end their threads. I figure I have enough threads already, with my parked ones that, yeah, I don't need more. I don't want to get confused as to which is which, so yeah, but to each their own. Yeah, so I finally got my replacement DVD set. I ordered from someone else because, yeah, I ordered it from Amazon. It was, it didn't play because it had an obvious bad transfer onto the disc. You could see it was like it looked marbled because, yeah, it hadn't been done properly. So, of course, the machine couldn't read it. And I returned it and I ordered a replacement, and I swear they sent me the same one back because it had the same problem, and I'm pretty sure that the design it kind of left behind looked exactly the same, yeah, as the previous one. So I went, well, I'm not doing that again. So I went and ordered a used copy from, like, I think Thrift Books or something. Yeah. Because I'm like, well, if it's used, then I assume that someone watched it and it actually worked. And yeah, I got it. The first thing I did was pull the discs out and look at it, and they all look pristine. So I think we're good this time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of understand if it's knockoffs. I had, at one point, I wanted Deep Space Nine on DVD. And I was cheap, and I went on eBay and ordered like a knockoff copy from like Korea or something, because it's still in English. They just add Korean subtitles. And yeah, unfortunately, about a third of the episodes would not play because, or the endings were cut off. You missed the last minute or two, which was very frustrating. So yeah, ended up ordering the official ones anyway, so I should have just done that in the first place instead of wasting my money. I mean, it wasn't much for the knockoff set, but yeah. We ended up, my husband gave it to a coworker who also is a Star Trek fan, and just warned them, like, it's not a good quality. Some of them are going to be missing if you want them, you know, and they said, oh, we'll take them, so yeah. But yeah, this was sort of in the days before streaming was really a thing as much. So like nowadays, I guess you could watch it and just sort of like stream the episodes you're missing from the DVD set. Yeah. But back then you couldn't really do that. Yeah, because that was like 2004. Yeah. And actually that was the whole reason I got into Deep Space Nine, was I wanted to watch Star Trek, and that was the only one that was on our local cable package. So I went, okay, well, I guess I'll try this. Because I had watched it when it first premiered. I watched the first couple of episodes and didn't really get into it at the time. And then, yeah, so that's how I got into it years later. And then it ended up becoming my favorite show, so. Okay. And I'll also do these two. So I could have just parked it here until I did other stitches above it, but it's still connected, and also this thread is super short, and so usually when I get to that point, I like to just finish it off, and then I don't have to fiddle with it later, because the shorter pieces can be a bit of a pain to get rethreaded and such. And I can't really leave the needle on when they're that short, because they'll just fall right off. So yeah, like I said, there's kind of an eye shape motif from the tail here, so that's what we're going to work on filling in today. Yeah, so kiddo has exams coming up very soon. But yeah, hard to believe he has one more school year to go and then he graduates. Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, I swear, I feel like my own high school graduation wasn't that long ago, even though it was. Yeah, it was 25 years ago. Yeah, unfortunately, I have no pictures from my grad ceremony because my dad accidentally used a roll of slide film, and the place couldn't develop at the picture place. So yeah, it was one of those, we bought like a bulk set of film from like Costco, and we didn't know it included like a free slide film one for you to try, and we didn't notice. My dad loaded it in the camera just like regular film, not realizing that it wasn't regular film. And so yeah, unfortunately I was a little bummed at that, because yeah, like I got an award and there's no pictures of it that we have. So yeah, like I have sort of one picture that was taken with a couple of friends in our caps and gowns the day of, and they emailed that to me. And I have like sort of the official posed pictures. They do the portraits. Yeah, no cap, just the gown and the sash, and that's it. Yeah, I don't have any others. So oh well, just have to remember it, right? Yeah, it's funny remembering how things have changed. You know, did you remember to bring the camera? Because, like, yeah, now everybody has a camera in their pocket, right? And those phone cameras are getting pretty good. Yeah, like I will take pictures of my stitching, and then you can zoom far in until like there's maybe one of these big squares filling up the whole, and see the individual stitches, and they're not even blurry looking. Like, it's amazing how much detail they can capture now. Yeah, I remember when the cell phone cameras first came out, they were okay, but if you tried to zoom in or use them to make like a print of anything, they were not great. Yeah. Yeah, we had a digital camera that we got with air miles about a year before our son was born. So all of her, of course, his early years are taken with that camera, and now, yeah, you can tell the difference in the quality. It looks fine when you look at the picture, but if you try to zoom in at all, yeah, it gets very fuzzy and pixelated quite quickly. So, oh, somebody's car alarm's going off. That gets irritating. Man, I remember we lived in one place when I was a kid, and in the summer, this guy's alarm went off at like 2 o'clock every afternoon, and it would go on for like an hour. It was so annoying. And it wasn't just honking, it was like the siren kind of, you know, different sounds, almost sound like a police car siren kind of thing. Oh man, yeah. And I remember saying, if that guy's car ever actually gets broken into, nobody's going to pay any attention, because we're completely desensitized by the darn thing going off all the time. Yeah. Like, it was a few blocks away, so sort of if you turned on the radio, you could drown it out and not hear it. But yeah, I felt bad for their immediate neighbors. That must have been... I'm amazed they didn't do something about it, because, I mean, that's definitely got to be against some city bylaw, you know, noise ordinance. Almost couldn't find my little thread card there. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is fill in that little corner bit there first. That way I can do a bunch of another color around it without having to pause. So I actually did start at 0 this morning. Yeah, we're closing in on 42%. Won't reach that today, I imagine. Because that'd be like, I think, take a look, I did some math here. Yeah, that'd be like over 700 stitches, so that's not going to happen. But probably be there by the time I next make a session to stitch with you guys. Okay, this is one I have out. Yeah, I went to have my hair cut yesterday, and my husband actually noticed pretty quickly. I had one time, I had my hair cut, and I didn't say anything, and neither my husband and son noticed for like hours. And I mean, I generally don't go in for just a trim. I kind of wait till my hair is long enough that it's, if I'm always pulling it back and it's annoying me, and then I go and get it cut like to my chin length. So yeah, and it was funny because I said my husband had looked directly at me like a dozen times and he still hadn't said anything. And he kind of had almost a confused look on his face a couple times, like he knew something was different, but not what. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I had super long hair in high school, but it's a lot of upkeep. Causing me neck strain too. Yeah, because my hair was even thicker then. So, yeah, I often say the older I get, the shorter my hair gets. I just don't have the patience anymore. Okay. 808. Yeah, lots of color changes. We'll get some bigger blocks as we get towards the center of this kind of eye. Yeah, I was talking with my hairdresser about how I'm making the memorial blanket for my father-in-law with my mother-in-law's yarn, and she was saying, yeah, she does crochet and quilting as well. So she said, yeah, she did that for someone who wanted a memorial quilt, and they sent her the clothes, and she was expecting like, you know, t-shirts, sweatshirts, that kind of thing. She said it was like all denim. Yeah, she said, oh, if I'd known, because denim is so hard to work with, right? Yeah, but she said, yeah, she made like a crazy quilt style, and a couple of the jackets had flannel lining in it, so she used that for the edges and stuff. And yeah, she said they were really happy with it. So in the end, it was worth it. Yeah. was a lot of work, but it was worth it. Because, yeah, I can only imagine. I've hemmed some jeans that were too long, and yeah, even with a machine, that's not easy to sew through. Okay. All right, so let's do that color. Yeah, quilting wasn't one I could get into because I'm not great at sewing. Like I can sew darts in clothing and I can hem things, but I'm not very good at anything more complicated than that. So instead, I make knitted blankets that look like quilts. Yeah, I made one that was a wedding ring quilt with the rings of colors. Yeah, that took a long time. That was a lot of pieces to sew together. And I've made, yeah, a few of the log cabin style quilts, which is what I'm making for this current one. Yeah, I have a sister-in-law who's pretty good at sewing. She's made some of her own clothes and quilts, but yeah, that's definitely not one of my skills. Yeah, my mom was pretty good at sewing. She made dance costumes for me and my sister when we were little. And she didn't have a sewing machine either, so she made them by hand, yeah. Okay, so gotta follow the slope of this color here, at least somewhat. As I say, I try not to close in on all four sides. 3 is okay. So yeah, so far this summer's shaping up to be rainy. It's sort of got the occasional sunny day rather than the usual, which is mostly sunny, and the occasional rainy day. It's been, yeah, inverted. Okay. Yeah, we had a thunderstorm last night too. Yeah, my husband got some pictures of some of the storm clouds rolling in. They were, yeah, pretty wicked looking. Yeah, the first year we moved out to Alberta, it was a very stormy summer. There were like lightning storms almost every night. It was wild. It was kind of cool though, because we lived in this tiny little town. It was like population 300 people. So there wasn't a lot of street lighting. And so sometimes if I couldn't sleep, I would sit in our living room because we had a bay window and watch the lightning because it would be totally dark. And then, yeah, everything would be lit up with the flash, like perfectly outlined. For just a split second, it would look really cool. Yeah, because you could see a church steeple from our house, so that would look really cool lit up against the night sky. Yeah, it was one of those, it's such a small town, it didn't even have a single traffic light. Yeah, everything was four-way stops for like the, 3 intersections there were in town kind of thing. Yeah. They had a little K-12 school. And it was also the library, so like in the summer it was only open for like 2 days or something. Yeah. Yeah, taxes were really high to fund the school. That was for sure. So when we moved to a bigger city, yeah, they were like, oh, the taxes are kind of high in this area. And it looked at us like, oh, well, that's $1,000 cheaper than what we were already paying. So, yeah. I said, oh, really? I said, well, yeah, that's because that town had a school. So, yeah, to pay for it, the taxes were quite high. Yeah, it was annoying to try and get anything delivered because our official address via Canada Post was a P.O. box. They didn't deliver to your door. Yeah. So they had a lot of, well, we can't ship to P.O. boxes. Like, well, you can't ship it to my house either unless I'm paying for an actual, like, courier. And half the time, even then, they wouldn't come out to your house. They would still drop it off at the general store / post office. So you still had to go and get it anyway. Yeah, that was part of my daily routine, was to walk and check the mail. And actually, when we were first there, they didn't know what P.O. box we were going to get, so it was general delivery. Yeah. It's like, I didn't even know that was still a thing. Yeah, and then there was our old bank. We gave them our new address, but they must have had multiple mailing lists, because there was one they sent that always just said to general delivery, and I would get stamped all over the envelope, please update address from the post office. And I'm like, I've called them like 4 times. I don't know where. That must be some, mailing list that's separate from their master mailing list, because they keep saying it's updated everywhere, and it's not, so sorry. It usually was for something, it was like for promotional mail too, not like the official mail, but you would think that it would all come from the same, like a centralized mailing list, but nope, it would not. Okay, so I did those 2. I'm going to do these 2 here. I might actually, yeah. Might actually just do this one as well. It's not closing it on all 3 sides, so I think I will do that. Park it here. I did not leave that one threaded because it was super short. I think I didn't come up quite right. Yeah. There we go. All right, I know this is a dark color here. It's like a navy, so I can safely pin stitch this there. Okay, I think I got my my camera stand to the right shape this time, so I didn't bonk it with my knee like I did last time. Okay. Still a lot of this color to come. Over 14,000 stitches of it. Alright, so we get to do a bunch in a row here. Yeah, I don't mind these rainy days that much, except for the fact that it means there's a lot less natural light, which is what I prefer to work from when I can. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to finish the tail feathers that is in this pass this month because, yeah, it extends quite a bit further than last pass. Covers up more of the wall. I'm thinking by the end of the summer, probably have this pass complete. That should be pretty cool. It'll be just less than half because I have my center thread marked and it was below this pass, so yeah. We will get past the halfway mark with the next pass. Well, which makes sense because I'm doing a total of 9 passes. This is the 4th one, so. park that there because I don't want to entirely close in that stitch there. Switch colors again. Yeah, so like I said, summer holidays are coming up, but hopefully I should be able to film okay because my kiddo is no longer playing computer in the living room where I stitch. He now has a desktop set up in a separate room. Yeah, because to get a computer powerful enough to play some of the open world games he wants to play, he needed a desktop, not a laptop. So yeah, he saved up for over 2 years and was finally able to buy it. Yeah, so he's got some resumes to some places to see if he can get summer work again. But yeah, I said the college kids usually get those over the high school kids. So and apparently their semester ends earlier. So yeah, they often are able to snap up the jobs first. They have earlier availability, so. And people tend to prefer to go for a little bit older and more experienced, so. I was hoping this piece would be long enough to also do the last 3 stitches there, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's too short. Oh well, I have some other short pieces to use up, so no problem. being squeaky. I don't know why. Also, we get the center of this eye motif is pretty much done, so continue to work around it. So yeah, just sort of growing out from there. I think these different feathers are overlapping, so some of the motifs are not completely round because they get covered up by other feathers. Okay, so let's take a look. I may do something out of order here. All depends. Yeah, this is not very long. What I may actually do is unpark this for a second. I'm going to do this one here and then park it back where it was. That way I don't have to do another strand right there because I'm going to carry the other one around like that. So that way I didn't do things out of order, didn't close anything in, and didn't have to add another thread. So that's it for this color here. So do all these in a row. Okay. Okay. Actually, I may be able to carry that color a bit too. So let's see. Probably not for all of the stitches, but we'll see what we can get out of it. Yeah, I don't mind having more than one thread of the same color attached in an area, but if I don't need to do it, then I prefer to work with fewer strands when it is possible. Okay, so we'll see if we have enough to finish this area or not. It's going to be close. Oh, maybe. Haha. I love when it works out like that. Sweet. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. I can work around that area or around this area of the motif here. Can we make it? Yep, I think it's just enough. Sweet. Been lucky today. Of course, now that I said that, I probably jinxed myself and I'll get a big, great big knot or something. It's my next thread. Oh dear. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is drop down a bit and just start working with the threads that I have attached here. Because if I sort of work up near the top, I'm going to have to attach a bunch more. So, yeah. Of course, we'll eventually go back up there. Oh goodness, there we go. I trimmed my nails, now it's hard to pick up the needle. Of course, I still have to add some threads here either way. Okay, so I think I'll wrap this up soon. Been stitching for quite a while. Yeah, happy with the progress I made. So now colors are changing into the brown and sort of goldish part of the eye motif here. Okay, how about we stitch to 175? I like stopping on multiples of 5 like that. So this one. And the one right in the corner there. Then park it. So there, 175. Yeah, not bad considering there was quite a lot of colors in this small area. So I'm quite happy with that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here next time. All right, thanks everyone.